So for my lesson plan, I focused on fourth grade, and the theme was early European explorations and conquest. Right. So I chose a student with ASD for my focus student, and so here are the list of supports that I've built into my lesson, and the ones that are highlighted in yellow are the ones that are accessible to all students with or without a disability. So here we can go to the lesson plan. So for this lesson plan, I'm going to be focusing on explorers of the New World. So the main idea is students learn about principal explorers, how they contributed to the development of European knowledge about America, how European rivalries were transferred to the New World, and the effect of Native American culture meeting with European cultures. So their essential questions would be, who are the explorers? Why do we explore? How do we create a timeline? And where did European explorations take place? And again, here's the standard. So in the lesson, students will be able to trace a map of European explorations of North America and the Caribbean islands in the 15th and 16th. Recall and write about voyages of all of the explorers that we'll be focusing on. They'll be able to evaluate the reasons for exploring, and they'll be able to make a timeline of famous explorers' landings and conquests. So here are all of my assessments. So for formative assessments, students will be giving guided notes during each lesson. They'll be given a map where they'll map out each exploration. They'll also have a graphic organizer to help them, and they'll be doing a big sheet activity in pairs or groups, depending on how big the class is. And then for the summative assessment, they'll be creating their own explorer profile and timeline on that explorer. Here are a list of resources that I've used. Most of them are online and interactive. However, you can easily make these in classroom too if you're not on the line. So time allocated for this lesson, it's about 45 to an hour each class. And then here are my classroom management. So this is our day one. I'm gonna focus on, instead of going through all of them, I'm gonna focus on one of them and show you how it works. Just because most of them are set up similar, not identical, but similar, so you can get a feel out of that. So we will do Juan Ponce de Leon and Christopher Columbus. So students are giving like an explorer packet at the beginning of each lesson, or the lesson as a whole, so you can keep them in their desks. And so here is what this will look like. So students start off the lesson with, thinking about why we explore, and then they'll watch a short video kind of explaining why we explore, and then about each explorer they'll be giving this. So they'll kind of fill this out. So did the explorer explore for political reasons, economic reasons, or religious reasons? What did they achieve, like, or where are they from? And how did this impact the world? And then we can go back. They'll also be giving this, which is a little graphic organizer to help them again, kind of collect their thoughts on each explorer. So who was the explorer? Where is the explorer from? Just more questions about the explorer. And then they'll watch a video about the explorer. We'll discuss it. Then the students will be asked to take out their map, which is probably going to be in their packet. then we'll go over this interactive map, which has all of Ponce de Leon's conquests. So if you click here, it brings you to the map. And you can kind of show students their voyage. So, for example, he left from over here, and each one has something that we can read, and it kind of goes over, and then this is where he landed, but it also has every stop where he stopped in between, and some of them have little stories that go along. So then after that, we're going to focus on two explorers a day. So on this day, the next one would be Christopher Columbus, and his is similar, but there's also Brain Pop Junior games that they can play after this lesson instead of just breaking up into think, pair, share groups. And then here are the other explorers. And then at the end of the lesson, students will be split up into 9 groups, and they'll go on to this Google Earth Voyage stories, which is pretty cool, and students will be able to look up their explorer here, and on big sheet paper, they'll kind of give us a more overview of their explorer that they become kind of experts on. And then at the end of the lesson or the unit, students will play Jeopardy, which will be like a fun overview again, and then they'll be given their unit outline projects where they will create a timeline of just one of the explorers that we went over, so they'll be able to use their notes. They should have enough information, but there's also a list of resources that they can use if they need more information or if they were out sick one day. And then they'll present this, and then we'll kind of line up all of the explorers that the students did and make a giant timeline of what the new world looked like. And that is it.